Croyd. It's the National Eisteddfod Week, and here tonight we've got an interview with Gwyn Wigley Evans from Llanddeiniol. Gwyn is the interim leader of Ein Gwlad. So we're going to have a discussion about this new political party, this new pro-independence party for Wales. But firstly, Gwyn, I just want to ask you a bit about your own personal background. What's actually sort of stimulated you and motivated you to get involved in politics? So maybe we'll kick off with your personal backstory, if you like.
Well, I'm from Machynlleth and Dyfi Valley, and very proud of it. And travelled around Wales a bit, lived in Colwyn Bay, lived in Aberdyfi, and now Llanddeiniol. In the meantime, I was working in London and the textile trade, which I still am, even though we live on a farm and do some farming now. With the textile industry, I travelled the world from many countries in Europe, including Pakistan, a bit further, Turkey, Macedonia recently, and China. And all of the countries that I worked with were actually independent.
Okay, so I mean that entrepreneurial business type background has obviously been a big shaper of your views and your life as a whole. Would you say that having this kind of grounded, practical, lived life experience is something that is a feature of this new party?
Yes, it is, because my background of selling and marketing is that it's on commission only. I can stay in bed all day, no money comes in. A lot of the people, especially the professional politicians, they go away, they do something, they do nothing, they talk a lot, and they get a check at the end of the month anyway. That is not acceptable anymore. That kind of politics, we think, is broken. So what we're trying to do is, quite successfully online so far, is to go down to the grassroots and find out what the problems are. We know quite a few of them ourselves, what we come across, because we're a very diverse group. We go all over the place. We meet so many people. We get terrific feedback, one-to-one, eyeball to eyeball, which is not hearsay. Very important for us.
Okay, what about this point that many people are using as a form of opposition to this new party? They say that, well, Wales has got one nationalist party already. Do we really need another one? What would you say to those people who are sort of making those kind of noises?
Well, in that respect, we're very poor, because Catalan has got 5, and the Basque country has got 3. They have different policies, but they come together for the referendum, and their focus is independence. In the same way, Plaid Cymru has been around for 90 years. 90% of the population does not vote for them. And we're looking at that 90%. A lot of those are voting for other parties, and they're fed up with them. A lot of them are not bothering to vote at all, and we're looking for those, because we need to inspire them. That's our job.
Because I think that if we look back at the percentage of people who've actually voted in the Welsh election, I think it's never been more than about 50% since 1999. So there's 50% of the people who are basically completely disengaged, disenchanted, and alienated from the political process. How can Ein Gwlad actually tap into this disenchantment and inspire people to take part again?
Well, I think I'd go one stage further. We just had the Brecon and Radnorshire by-election, and 100% of the people there couldn't vote for an independent party because Plaid didn't stand, and they decided to stand down for a unionist party, which we certainly won't find us doing that. If we'd known and there was time, we might have stood. Our policy is not to stand for Westminster, but that was a disgrace.
Okay. Could you give us a taster of some of Ein Gwlad's policies, just to give the audience out there an idea of what kind of party they can expect it to be?
We believe that they should be radical ones. It's a overused word, but we don't think that a lot of the policies that are around at the moment work very well. And just by tweaking and by changing the figure up or down a little, that's not going to do it. So we've gone for things which we are comparing with other countries. Instead of comparing ourselves with England all the time, that is a very low bar, because they're not doing it right there. These comedians are terrible. So we compare with Norway and Switzerland and Luxembourg, that kind of thing. So two policies that would be fairly obvious for us. Which one is the flat rate tax? In Macedonia they have a tax book of 85 pages because it's 10%. We've got 83,000 pages. It's a nonsense. We also go for the universal income. Universal income means everybody has an income, so that they can bounce off that. It's a safety net, it is a starting point, not an end. If you wish it to be an end, stay in bed and you've got the money. If you wish it and you can go and have another job, as people do, not limited to 16 hours, and they take off. This will give them far more income. If they have more income, they pay more tax. What's wrong with that?
Okay, so again, it's an attempt to foster this entrepreneurial spirit which maybe has been stifled in Wales over the last few years, and kickstart our economy and make Wales into hopefully a more prosperous country.
Yes, because the other side of that, of course, is if you have the entrepreneurs, local companies, businesses, they don't move away. And what happens, of course, is with the big conglomerates that come in, as soon as there's a bit of a recession or a bit of trouble, or their shareholders are a bit hungry, then they close the satellite factory, and that's a devastation. And we've all paid for it through Cardiff. Cardiff hasn't got any money, it's our money. And we just thrown it down the toilet.
Okay. So another key element of the party is this emphasis on democracy, and this element of wanting to disperse power. Because, as everybody knows, the power in Wales is concentrated heavily in Cardiff Bay. So how would you see Gwyn Wigley being able to actually disperse power all over Wales and involve Welsh people much more in the democratic process than is happening at the moment?
Well, if you believe that devolution from London into Wales is a good thing, then we believe that devolution from Cardiff down to the county councils in particular, and even the local district, Cymru, would be also good, because they know what's needed. And that is the point, is instead of it coming down from on high, you will have new road signs, you will have, maybe they don't need it, maybe they need something else, and therefore they can spend it. And they're accountable for it to the local people. After all, at that level is your neighbour. She's your neighbour who's spending your money, and you can actually knock on the door and say, hello, I'm not happy about this.
Okay. So another point that the party are saying, there's a lot of waste, isn't there? There's a lot of resources being mismanaged, and there's a lot of white elephant projects where money, taxpayers' money is wasted in so many instances. So we need a leaner, meaner economy, and that's, how do you sort of explain that?
But leaner, meaner, but better. And we all hear about we're going to come into power and we're going to clear out and make savings on this and wastage. It doesn't seem to happen, not that often. It's a shuffling of chairs. We're talking about deck chairs and Titanic. It's sinking fast, and they just try and plug the hole. We're going about it in a different way. The first thing we're prepared to do is not to chuck money at everything, is to ask the question, where is it broken? What is broken? And then we attack it with money if needed. Because very often when you ask the people who are carrying out the work, they know the answer. It's just the managers don't do it. They don't even ask them. I know in a local hospital in Bronglaes that there are managers there. They've never been to the building. Talk about on the ward and asking the staff, what do you need? Instead, they send them a trolley. They didn't need it. That kind of thing. In the same with the Assembly. They're so busy doing meetings, but nobody's asking doing what? And change your methods.
So what you're saying is Wales needs a big reality check in a way in what's actually going on.
Yes.
In several aspects of life.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes indeed. I've just been involved recently with something with the tourist board, Visit Wales. It goes through the British Council and the British Tourist Board, but 98% of the money is spent on England. And I'm asking them, what are you doing?
And how many people would actually know about that?
Quite a few.
Yeah. Okay, good. So if we could just finish off now with, I mean, Gwyn have been spending a year basically building up an online profile, a news portal, having a presence on Twitter and Facebook. But now I sense that the next year is going to be about actually going out there into communities, talking to people face to face. How do you see that panning out for the next year?
We have to do it because our aim is to stand for the 2021 elections to Cardiff. And that is very important for it. It is our target. And to do that, we have to go around knocking on doors, talking to people. People like it. They like to be able to tell you. And we like it because we want to hear it. It's all very well doing it online, and we do get some very peculiar comments online. But also we get very constructive ones. So our net is far wider and easier and quicker. And as we are grassroots based, we need to go to people and build it up, not us telling them.
Okay, so it's going to be a grassroots, bottoms-up approach. And do you think that the people of Wales are ripe for that kind of new type of politics?
As I said, politics as we know it is broken. It has to be new. The only way forward is new. To do the same thing again is ridiculous. Einstein said to create and to do the same experiment and expect a different answer is madness. What is happening now is madness.
Gwyn Wigley Evans, diolch yn fawr.